my name is Chris. You're watching The Man Collects. As I normally say during my videos, in case you're not familiar with who I am, thank you for taking your time to watch this video on YouTube. If you do enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button. Alright everybody, I've only done one ranking video in my almost two-year YouTube experience. That was my top 5 Build-A-Figures from last year, so I'm going to give it a shot. Everybody else is cranking them out. Hey, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon and give you my top 12, because I could not decide on the top 10, top 12 figures of the year in my humble opinion. Now, before I get into this, guys, some of these may not have been released in 2024. These are the top figures I added to my collection in 2024. So if some of these weren't released in 24, I'm well aware of that. I know at least one of them was not. So like I said, this is just the ones we've been able to bring in here to the Man Hut and build the collection with this year, because 2024 was a good year here for collecting, in my opinion, with all the varieties and all the brands we had to choose from. But you're not here to listen to me ramble on. You're here to see what I picked for my top 12. So let's get down to it. We're going to start with number 12, and let's take a look at what that is. And coming in at number 12, we have from Playmates Toys, Godzilla vs. Kong. We do have the Godzilla, the heat breath version here, the RC remote controlled version. I know, guys, this may not be in a lot of people's top 1,000, let alone their top 10 or 12. I think this thing was awesome. For the cost of this at Walmart, this thing was $45. You get a huge, beefy Godzilla figure. It is remote controlled. Yeah, it's cumbersome. He doesn't walk straight. He wobbles around a little bit, but still, he roars when you push buttons. You put the water in him. He got the diffuser in him where he spits out the steam like the heat breath. I thought this thing was fun. I've enjoyed it. I've got it posed on a shelf over there with one of the King Kong figures from that. And I thought it was worthy of a spot, in my humble opinion, in my top 12. So there we go. The first pick we've got, Playmates Toys, Godzilla RC version. Now let's keep climbing the ladder. We're at number 11. What is my number 11 pick? We're sticking with Playmates Toys, and I'm going with one of the most nostalgic pickups for me during 2024. Bam! Casey Jones from the Retro TMNT line. Casey Jones, guys, when I was a kid and into Ninja Turtles, hardcore, he was always my favorite character. Now, I've always been a fan of the Friday the 13th movies, Jason Voorhees and such. The hockey mask probably kind of drew me to that because of that, but when I started doing the re-releases of the Retro Ninja Turtle line, this was the one I was looking forward to the most. This came out this year. It was him / Mutagen Man, some of the movie figures and so on and so forth, but it's Casey Jones. I'm thinking that the vintage, you guys let me know if you can remember. I've never done the research. I thought he came with 2 baseball bats and 1 golf club. I can't remember, but I'm not going to complain over being short of 1 bat. The figure looks like the Retro in my mind's eye. I've still got the Retro version of him in storage. I need to get him out and kind of compare them. But yeah, this thing, when it came out, I saw it hitting shelves. I had to track this down and find it. I do have this one loose. I also have one to keep on card. But again, the nostalgic value of this has got to be in my top list for 2024. But here you go. Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Retro Carded Casey Jones, number 11. And now let's crack the top 10. Number 10 in my top 12 of 2024 of figures I added to my collection during this year is going to go to a line that I have gotten into some this year. I don't have any of them out of box, haven't really messed with them. I've never held one in my hand outside of the box. That's why I have him ranked at 10. You'll probably wonder why this is so low. That's why, because I've never had one out of box to really mess with and compare anything to. But just given who the character is, given the quality I know this figure line has, I put him in the top 12 because it just looks awesome. But number 10 is Mafex, every how you say it, Bane from Nightfall. Guys, this looks awesome. Bane is one of my all-time comic book baddies of all time. I've already said all time more times than I should have, but this thing looks great. He looks like the Bane from the Nightfall comic back in the day. And again, the box presentation, all that looks great. I've got a bunch of Mafex figures in my collection. I do plan on unboxing these and doing more with them. I just don't have the space for that now. It's actually one of my projects for 2025. Let's get this collection room in a lot better order than it's in now. But that doesn't take anything away from this. It's an awesome looking figure. And again, if you're going by the comic interpretation of Bane, I think Mafex did an awesome job on this thing. And I really can't wait till the day comes I can get these things out of package and do some posing and stuff with them. But again, you guys let me know. Everybody I know that has Mafex figures say they're a very high quality. Now, they're pricey. These things are about $100, if not, some of them are more. I think this one was like $120. I'm wanting to thank for the figure where he's a little bit bigger than some of the others. But again, if you look at the head sculpts and stuff there he comes with, I mean, he looks like he stepped off the comic book page, in my opinion, and into this. But awesome looking figure. Number 10 of the top 12 of 2024 for the Man Collects, Mafex Bane. Now we're inside the top 10. We're at number 9 of the top 12 of 2024 in the opinion of the man collects, and I tried to get something in this top 10, guys, across all the lines I like to dabble in, so we're going to take a look at this one. This was an awesome set. I saw my friend T3 Collects, Carlos, found this at his Best Buy. I tried to track it down. I luckily found it. I will say, though, and I'll put a link to his review in the description of this video, GeekStrong. If you've watched GeekStrong, he did a review of this recently. It was a very good, comprehensive look at it, but I'll put a link to that in the description of the video if you want to check that out. But let's just quit talking and show it. NECA, Bride of Frankenstein, Ultimate Frankenstein's Monster with the Chair. I love the Universal Monster stuff, guys, we get from NECA, and this thing with all the accessories that it comes with. You get the awesome chair, you get the Frankenstein's monster, I think was a good alternate version of him. All the other little Easter egg stuff you get here with him, the accessories that come with it. This is an awesome set, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm thinking this is $59.99. I mean, for NECA prices, for what you get, I don't think that's that bad. I gotta say, they even done the pricing on it quite well, and if you want to take it out of box, which I am going to do eventually, it looks awesome. If you keep it in box, I mean, the box presentation I think is pretty good as well. There is the back of it. You see the different little stuff they got imposed with. Now, I do need to get a Bride of Frankenstein figure. I don't have a Bride figure. We need that to go with this whenever we do crack it out of box and open it up, but this thing is awesome, guys. If you're trying to find it, Best Buy is the only retail store I have seen this in. I'm not saying it's exclusive. I'm just saying I haven't found it anywhere else. But there's you one more look at the Frankenstein monster with the chair. And again, this is my number 9 pick for 2024 of my favorite figures I picked up this year. NECA, Bride of Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster with chair. Let's take a look at what made number 8 on the list, guys. This is my first Marvel Legend. Yes, my first Marvel Legend. One has cracked the top 12 here. Let's show what we got. Retro carded Spider-Man Wave Scarlet Spider. This is another one. It's probably not the sexiest Marvel Legend that came out in 2024, but I loved this character when I was younger. I was one of the, I guess, the few people that actually liked the Clone Saga. You know, back in the 90s Spider-Man books, we had Kane, you had Ben Reilly, you had Peter Parker. You didn't know who was the real Spider-Man, you didn't know who was the actual clone, but I don't know why this look, I always liked this look for Scarlet Spider. Now, I know that Marvel Legends has done some other versions of him. This is the only one that I have. I've heard the Mayfex of this figure is amazing, but again, I don't have the Mayfex. The only one I've got is this Marvel Legend, but the posability, the things you can do with this figure, the way it's balanced was great. I think the paint apps on him was good. The colors, he looks like he stepped off the comic page from the 90s. But as far as Marvel Legends, this was close. I started to rank this one a little bit higher, but there is some more Legends here in the remaining few we got to look at that ranked a little higher than him. But yes, I think that version, Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider, awesome looking figure, and he is number 8 of my top 12 of 2024 of figures I got to add to my collection this year. All right, let's keep going. Number 7, in my opinion, goes to a toy company or a company that's breaking into the action figure market that I think's on their way up. This is one of the best lines going right now, I think, as far as quality, price, packaging, presentation, everything else. It's kind of moved to the top of my list on figures that I enjoy. So let's go ahead and show what we got. We have GIJoe Toys Street Fighter 2 GIJoe. Now, I have not taken him out of box yet, but I do have some other Street Fighter 2 figures from GIJoe that I have unboxed. I know they're good quality. I know they pose well. Never had any issues in the others that I got. I don't expect any different from GIJoe once I crack him open here. Now, back in the day when I was a young man collects, or young, I guess, teenage kid collects, whatever you want to call it, I put a lot of quarters into Street Fighter 2, The World Warrior. I know this is based on Ultra Street Fighter 2, but it's still a spin-off of that classic game. But GIJoe was my character. Any Street Fighter game I've played since then, this right here is my go-to player as far as Street Fighter 2. When these started coming out and they really started catching on, this was the one, kind of like I mentioned with Casey Jones for the Turtle line there, this was the one I looked forward to the most, was getting GIJoe. I was excited to see him come out this year. Glad to be able to get this and put it in the collection. Now, I do have 2 of these. I've got one I'm going to unbox. I got one that's staying in box because of the nostalgic draw for this character to me from all the time I spent playing with him on video games. But these things look awesome. If anybody's on the fence on these GIJoe Toys Street Fighter 2 figs, I highly recommend these. One of my favorite figure lines out there today. McFarlane used to top the list for me. He's taken a step back this year as my favorite toy company. This one right here is near the top. So GIJoe Toys Street Fighter 2 GIJoe is my number. What number are you, GIJoe? You are number 7 on my top 12 of 2024. And now we're up to number 6. Number 6 goes to a figure line that I tried to kind of stay away from. One of my favorite cartoons and toys when I was a kid though, but I gotta say, for the price of these things and what you get as far as the color, the paint apps, the accessories, the quality of the figures, posability, be able to get them to stand, all that good stuff, this line's kind of at the top of the line for me, guys, and it is cheaper than Hasbro and McFarlane. What is it? It is Masterverse. Now I picked this one, Skeletor and the Havoc Throne. I know a lot, it's talking about the price being good on this line. A lot of people complained this thing was too expensive. It was, I can't remember if it was $60 or $70, but I got this from Big Bad Toy Store, and this is another one. I'm not for sure when this was released. This could have been a 2023 release. I'm not 100% sure on that. I got it this year. I got it back in the summer from BBTS, as I previously mentioned, but this thing is awesome. I think presentation-wise on the shelf, this looks great. The Skeletor figure, I think, was good quality and fits with it well. The thing I was most impressed with that I did not know when I ordered it is the flames here actually light up. You put 3 AA batteries in it, and it's got a push button here on the base, and then the flames light up on the base. That just adds to the displayability of this thing. And if you push the button, the flames do change different colors. I'll go through them here so you can see the different ones. There we go. It's a sweet, sweet figure. Glad I was able to get this thing, get it in the collection this year. I want to do some kind of diorama to go around this to have it properly displayed on my shelf, but again, I got to have some space for that. But once again, really enjoy the Masterverse. I don't buy all of them. I do kind of be selective about them, but I love Skeletor, so most of the Skeletors I do end up getting. But as far as all the ones I got this year, I rank this one at the top of the list for Motu, but he is number 6 on my overall top 12 figures of 2024 that enter the Manhunt here. So now, let's move on up to number 5. And coming in at number 5, as I just mentioned, is going to be my first and only Mythic Legion I do have in my top 12. Now, I'm going to say, guys, I don't know when this one came out either. I got this at IshCon. The reason I picked this one out of all the ones that I have and the limited Legions that I have, I do know I have some that came out this year. This is the one that kind of got me into Mythic Legions. Now, William Golden, I met him through the YouTube channel here. He's become a really good, close friend. He's tried to get me into these things since we first started talking through the YouTube channel there, where he finally succeeded. But what got this for me is Kelly and I went to IshCon in North Carolina, and she liked the Legions. She started asking me, it's like, why aren't you buying these figures? These look better than most of the figures that you buy. This is the one her and I settled on to be my first one, so let's just shut up and quit talking, and here you go. Now, his name, I have no idea how to pronounce this, guys. It is Aracagor. It's Aracagor or something like that. This huge deluxe scale dragon. The thing I like about this, I'll try to get as close to the camera as I can if it zooms in. Look at the detailing. Look at the color on him. He stands. He's posable. And this thing was less than $80. This was $75. Now, it's still pricey. I know it's still pricey. But you look at our toy prices nowadays for this kind of quality and detail, they could easily ask for more than $100 for this. Not saying people would pay it, but they could easily ask that. But he does come with a bunch of accessories as well. You get the cool sword there with the flame effect. He comes with some extra hands and things of that. But again, this figure launched me into the Mythic Legions line. And it was something Kelly and I can kind of enjoy because she's kind of gotten into the Legions as well. So I might get to zoom. There we go. Let's get to zoom in on him a little better there. Check out that head sculpt. Awesome figure. Mythic Legions is what you're going to see more of for me in 2025 as they keep releasing stuff out. And we attend some more shows where the 4 Horsemen are at. And I got to go back and eat some crow, guys, because early in my collecting career, I kept saying, I don't get it, what it is of Mythic Legions. Okay, I get it now. I see why people like them so much. I'm starting to get suckered into them as well. But once again, this thing is awesome. He is number 5 of my top 10 or top 12 pickups of 2024. All right, we are into the top 4, and I bet you guys look behind me and probably thought this top 12 is going to be dominated by DC Multiverse and McFarlane toys, right? Nope, I haven't had any until now. Our first McFarlane has made the list. I know this is a recent figure, but the Silver Age Joker from the DC Direct, what they call the Fidgetal line, this, I think, guys, in my opinion, this is the best Joker figure McFarlane Toys has given us. My favorite version of Joker is from the 80s and 90s Superpowers or some of the 80s and 90s Batman comics, and he nailed it with this one, in my opinion. I don't have one out of the package to show you, but again, the colors on that thing look awesome. The only thing he could have came with to have made this a perfect Silver Age Joker is a big green mallet, like the old Superpowers version had back in the day. But I'm not going to complain about that, mostly because I've got the Vampire Joker on the shelf here behind me, and he's got a mallet with him. So if I ever open this thing up, I'll just put that mallet with him. But again, I think he nailed it with this version of the Joker. Again, very iconic from that time frame of the comics and of pop culture. And again, one more look at him there. Check that out. Now, there is a platinum variant of this one where he has the black and white suit. I have that one as well. I didn't put that one in the top 12 because to me, this is a more iconic version of the Joker. Right there is kind of the inspiration for him. And you know, McFarlane gets a lot of flack. Even I've given McFarlane Toys more crap this year than I usually do. But when he gets it right, you got to give Uncle Todd his props. He got it right with this one, in my opinion. And this DC Direct Silver Age Joker is my number 4 of my top 12 of 2024. Now, let's get the top 3. All right, now we're getting into the top 3. The number 3 of my top 12 of 2024 goes to another Marvel Legend, another one that pulls at my nostalgia strings from when I was a kid. Now, my love affair with this character began back in either 1990 or 1991. I'm fuzzy on the year now, with Marvel Comic Trading Cards Series 1. One of the rookies of the year in that card series, which made me want to get the comics and read it based on how he looked, Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. And this year, Marvel Legends gave us a Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. I'll get it closer to the camera here so you can check him out. This figure is awesome. I know a lot of people had this as their figure of the year. I mean, it was close to me that I would have given this probably number 1 spot, to be honest with you. If there was one thing, they either needed to make the Ghost Rider a little bit bigger or make the back a little bit smaller. Because I have trouble getting mine. You can see there, his foot won't reach the peg on here when you pose him on the back. But I didn't let that dissuade me too much. It's still an awesome looking Ghost Rider. The back looks great. The flame effects on the chain there. And again, love this version. No disrespect to Johnny Blaze or Reno Reyes, I think is the newer one. I haven't really read the new Ghost Rider comics since Danny Ketch was Ghost Rider, but this is the one I fell for back in the 90s. I have almost the entire original run of this Ghost Rider, and I got a lot of the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider as well, but this looks awesome. As you guys noticed, you probably could have guessed it's in the top 12 if you watched my channel, because back here you can see the flame effects on my shelf. I took him off my shelf, so I had him in the top 12 here. But again, love this figure. Goes back to another comic book story called Hearts of Darkness that came out in the 90s with Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and Punisher. That was one of my favorite comic stories when I was a kid, and of course this version of Ghost Rider was in that. But right here, guys, number 3 of my 2024 pickups is the Marvel Legends Danny Ketch Ghost Rider with the motorcycle. We are down to it, the top 2 picks for 2024. What was my favorite 2 figures that I picked up in 2024? We're going to start with number 2. Let's take a look at what we've got here. From one of my and I keep saying all-time favorite, one of my favorite, I'll just say that, one of my favorite comic stories when I was a kid was Batman Nightfall. We had the Mafex Bane in here. Now at number 2, we have the Azrael with the Batman armor based on his look from Batman Night's End. The ending of the whole Nightfall saga was a 10-part Night's End storyline. When Bruce Wayne returns from his paralysis, ever how you say that? Paralysis, to reclaim the mantle of the Bat from Jean-Paul Vallée, or Azrael. This figure, guys, looks awesome. Now, there was an Azbat that came out last year. It's still highly sought after. You can't see him. I've got one standing loose over there on my shelf, but that one I got. I liked it, but the coloring and stuff was off. McFarlane did great on this one. This is based on a later look of the Azrael armor from the Nightfall storyline. He actually ends up, at the end, he has the red version, and this is the platinum. The common version of this is that red armored Azrael that he wears near the end of the storyline, but this is the one he has right before he switches over to the red. This figure was fun to try to find in 2024. It was not easy to find. It didn't last if it went out long, so it was always a thrill to see this thing. I don't know how many of these I ended up finding. Of course, I found one. I got it in my collection here, but as far as McFarlane Toys, if I was doing a brand-specific top 10, this would be number 1 by a mile for me for McFarlane. Love the look of this. Don't have one out of package. I'm sure it's probably a nightmare to get it to stand up with all those accessories, but just looking at it here and my love affair of this storyline from the 90s Batman comics, number 2 is Batman Azrael armor from Batman Night's End. Well, as much as I gushed over this figure and got tongue-tied on it, what beat this out? What is the number 1 pick, in my opinion, of things that I added to the collection in 2024? Let's go look. Number 1, guys, we are there. My number 1 pick might be a little bit lackluster to some people, but as far as comic book characters, I say all-time favorites all the time. This is my all-time favorite comic book character. Now, I do have some other figures of him in my collection, but they are ones that are pricey on the secondary market. I didn't get them at retail, so I don't open figures like that. I keep them in package. This one I was able to get at retail. It was released this year, and I was able to have it out to start doing some figure photography and just have it on the shelf to look at and enjoy. But let's just take a look at what it was. This is a Marvel Legend. I got this from Hasbro Pulse. It's part of a 2-pack. I don't have the other figure on here, but let's just go ahead and shut up and show it. Right there we go. Frank Castle, the Punisher. From the Punisher War Journal, a 2-pack with him and Bushwhacker. Now, Bushwhacker gets a lot of crap. People kind of complain about that figure. I didn't think Bushwhacker was that bad based on the source material, but this Punisher figure is awesome. Now, it's not the iconic Frank with the white gloves and the white boots and the white belts and stuff like that. I get that, but again, I like the black boot version here. He did wear this costume a lot in the War Journal comics, so this looks sweet. One thing about this figure, I've had this out for quite a while. I have messed with it a lot out here in the man hut. I've done a lot of different poses. He stands well. He balances well. I've had this thing in some ridiculous looking poses and not had to use a figure stand to get him to stand up. The only negative I will say about this, I wish they would have done. I wish they would have put a thing and gave him a knife. I mean, the Punisher's got to have like a boot knife or something like that, so I'm probably going to try to get one off a GIJoe figure and stick on him here at some point, and can't wait to get the bread van from Ramen Toys at some point this year to have him in that bread van. But this right here, guys, by far is the #1 pick for me this year. What I was able to get is the classic Frank Castle Punisher figure from Hasbro and the Marvel Legends team. I can't get to zoom in on him, we're so small. I do apologize about that. But right there, #1, gotta love some Punisher. Alright everyone, that is my top 12. That's the top 12 favorite figures I have added to the collection this year. Hope you did enjoy the video. But one thing I do want to show before we sign out, I did not include vintage. I did not include any customs in this list. I tried to make it things that was widespread available for anybody to pick up, or it was retail pickups. But I did get one thing this year. I got what I'm going to consider my holy grail. Actually, I didn't get it. My wife snuck off and bought this for me and gave it to me for Christmas. But I got to show this one more time. This overall is the favorite thing I was able to add to this collection in 2024, and it is a boxed Punisher van from Toy Biz back from 1991, I think is the date on this thing. I can't remember. I've got one of these. I had when I was a kid, but I wanted one without the stickers. I just wanted the plain van. Kelly found this. It was new, sealed in box when she got it. She got a phenomenal price on it, but I have always wanted this. I can't think of anything else I wanted in my collection more than one of these Toy Biz Punisher vans. So Kelly, love, thank you again. I really appreciate you getting this for me. This will always stay in my collection. You know, I won't sell this thing. Whenever I'm dead and gone, her and the kids can sell this, unless, you know, I put it in my will that has me buried with me or something like that. But right there, that is the most prized possession right now I have in my collection, and I was able to get that this year when she gave it to me for Christmas. Alright everyone, that is officially it. I'm not showing any more toys. One thing I do want to say, everyone who supports the channel, thank you very much. The channel grew by leaps and bounds this year. I think going into 2024, I was sitting around 1,500, 1,600, 1,700 subscribers or something like that. I'm now at about 7,400, 7,500, so incredible growth through 2024. I really appreciate everyone for supporting the channel, and I've gotten to meet a lot of great people from YouTube and outside of YouTube. I don't want to start listing off names because I know I'm going to forget somebody, and I don't want to do that and hurt anybody's feelings. But to everyone I've gotten to know, everyone I've gotten to meet, you know, it's been a great experience for me. I have had some celebrity moments, and I don't count that towards me, but I got to meet some other YouTubers I've watched for years. That was an awesome part of 2024, is getting to see these people that you watch all the time, and you get to see them in real life. It was kind of cool to interact with some of that stuff. A lot of good shows this year, or 2024, a lot of good memories made. I'm looking forward to 2025. I'm going to try to keep my content the same. You're still going to get a Monday, Wednesday, Friday video from me. I'm going to try to do a little bit extra though. I don't want to do toy hunts all the time. I want to try to do more stuff like this. We're going to do some reviews, things like that, some more Lego related content and so on and so forth throughout 2025. And you guys hold me to this. It is my goal to try to get this man hut out here in a presentable fashion so I can do a collection tour at some point before the end of 2025. So I got plenty of time if I don't procrastinate too much to get that done. But that's enough talking. That's enough jabbering. Thank you for watching the video. We're going to sign off now, as I usually do, with social media plugs for The Man Collects. Instagram, description of this video, about page on YouTube. I'll have my normal splash on the screen. All that shows you where to find me on Instagram. Look me up on there, give me a follow, send me a message, should you choose to. And then we got the YouTube channel, The Man Collects. We're still growing, still looking to grow, and to do that, I need your help. So if you are a first-time viewer to this content, or you've came back several times, you just have not yet hit subscribe, consider clicking subscribe to the channel to see what comes down the pipe here on YouTube. Once again, everyone, hope you're having a great day, and I will see you for the next video when the man comes around.